Hello students and welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we'll be looking at UPI 123 and UPI Lite. So a lot of you, if not all of you, would have used UPI, yes. But are we also aware about UPI 123 and Lite? What are these? Why have these also been introduced? What are the basically characteristics or criteria for these? We'll look at that. And why is this in news? Because the transaction limits on UPI 123 and UPI Lite has been increased by the RBI. So what's the news? RBI has basically announced an increase in transaction limit in UPI 123 and UPI Lite. Why they have done that? They have done that to ensure wider adoption of UPI, wider adoption of the unified payment interface. All right, so let us dig deep into this particular topic. What is the changes that has been announced? So as the name suggests, UPI Lite, various social media app also you will get a Lite version. In fact, Swiggy has Swiggy Lite, Facebook has Facebook Lite. Now in Facebook Lite, what does that Lite mean? The Lite over there means, the app will be not very heavy. It will consume less memory of your phone and it will load faster. So mobiles with less processing capacity can on that also it will run smoothly. That is the meaning of Lite when you talk about Facebook Lite. But here in UPI Lite, when you are talking about Lite in UPI, here the thing is, see, you have unified payment interface. This UPI ID is there through which you can transfer the payment without even knowing the bank account of the person. If you just know the UPI ID, you can transfer the payment, you can request for the payment, receive the payment, so on and so forth. Now, UPI has higher limits. So, for financial inclusion and to include other people, to have to allow small transactions as well, there is a UPI Lite which is brought in, and on the similar lines, UPI 123 has also been brought in. Now, they had specific limits. Now those small limits is now being increased by RBI and it is required. Why it will be required? First of all, these when inflation is there, so the value of money anyhow goes down. So the value of the limit which would have been, let's say 500, has to be increased to, let's say 800, 1000. Right? Inflation is there, plus the standard of living of people is increasing, and it is not to say that you are increasing the minimum amount you can transfer. No, you are not doing that. You can still transfer 1 rupee as well. But if the upper limit was of 500, you are increasing that to 1000 now. You are increasing the upper limit. You are not increasing the lower limit. The lower limit remains the same. Okay, so finance inclusion element will still be there, but at the same time, these people who are using this UPI Lite and 123 will be allowed to transact a bigger amount. That is what it is all about. So UPI wallet limit, with respect to UPI wallet limit, its wallet limit has been increased from 2000 to 5000, and per transaction limit has been enhanced from 500 to 1000. Now this topic that we are doing today is very important, especially from the perspective of prelims. And now I myself say that you don't have to remember these numbers exactly, but you do need to know what kind of range these numbers lie in. I'll give you an example. So let's say UNFCCC, there has been a decision when developed countries have to give $100 billion, contribute $100 billion for climate change. In UPSC, they asked that figure. They gave a statement where they mentioned that developed countries have to give $1,000 billion. So they did not make it specific. 990, 100, 99, 90, 100. They were not very close. They, instead of $100 billion, they talked about $1,000 billion, which is 10 times more. So a person who just knows that the range is in somewhere in 100 can understand that this statement is wrong. So in that way, you have to know what are the kind of ranges we are talking about. So it is in hundreds and thousands. So in examination, they may give you 1 lakh. So you may know per transaction in UPI Lite it cannot be 1 lakh. It is light, it is smaller version, less payment. Even after increasing, it is increasing for some hundreds to 1000. So you can eliminate the options. If you remember the exact number, it is a simple number, so that is fine. If not, at least remember the kind of range that is available. This is how you study these data. Another similar question was with respect to, again in 2016, was with respect to the satellite and its weight. So they talked about a satellite which is low Earth orbiting satellite, and they asked its weight, and its weight was also given 10 times more than what actually it is. So again, they did not give very close weight. Instead of 550 giving 560, 540, no, they directly multiplied it by 10 and gave 5,000 plus, so as to be easier to eliminate the option. So this is how you remember. So what has been done? The two changes. First is with respect to wallet limit, that has been increased to 5,000 from 2,000. Per transaction limit has been increased from 500 to 1,000. So this has been doubled. This has been done 2.5 times. Then UPI 123 transaction limit, the per transaction limit has been raised from 5,000 to 10,000 to support higher value transaction. That means what? That means the per transaction value of UPI is greater than UPI 123, which is greater than UPI Lite. I hope this is absolutely clear. Now, what other changes? Beneficiary account name lookup. So when you have the UPI ID, now you can look up at the beneficiary's name also in Lite and 123 as well. In UPI, normally when you use through GPay, etc., the limit was higher. You could look up the account name comes automatically. Here that was not the case, but here also now they are bringing up the provision for looking up the name of the beneficiary's account. It will enhance security in the payment transactions. Okay, so you will be able to basically they are introducing it, so you will be able to look at the beneficiary's account name for RTGS and NEFT transfer. For RTGS and net transfer, similar to UPI and IMPS. So in UPI it is already there, they are bringing it in UPI 123 and UPI Lite as well. Now we need to understand what are these RTGS, NEFT, and there is another IMPS. So these are the three types of payment settlement system that are there. So before we look into the differences of UPI 123 and Lite, first let us look at the differences in this settlement system. Okay, NEFT, RTGS and IMPS. IMPS is immediate payment system, immediate payment settlement system. So this is immediate. This is real-time gross settlement system, real-time gross settlement system. And this is the national electronic fund transfer. Okay. This is immediate, so since this is immediate, this will happen with the blink of an eye. If you transfer through IMPS right now, click the button, it says transfer successful, the amount will reflect in the beneficiary's amount immediately within a second. That is what IMPS is there. Real-time gross settlement system is similar. It also happens in real time, 1-to-1. I transfer into your account through RTGS, 1-to-1 transaction happens, it is done. The national electronic fund transfer is different. It is a system which will take more time. Why it will take more time? Because it happens in lots. Meaning, and this lot is dependent on the cutoff time. So let's say the cutoff time is 2 p.m. So before 2 p.m., let's say from 12 noon to 2 p.m., if someone makes a payment at 12 noon, that payment will affect on after 2 p.m. That is, let's say 1 past 2. At this time, it will reflect in the beneficiary's account. So someone who is doing at 2 p.m. to 12 noon has to wait for 2 hours. Someone who is doing at 1:59 p.m. has to wait for just 1 or 2 minutes. Why? Because it happens in a lot of generally 2 hours. In a lot of generally, it can be 1 hour, 2 hour, 2.5 hours. So it happens in a lot. So if you have made a payment and the cutoff time depends upon the time of cutoff which they have set, you cannot know. So it is not like if I make it at 1:59, it will reach at 3:59. No. If the cutoff time is 2, if I've made it before 2, it will be immediately done in 1 or 2 minutes. But if the cutoff time is 2 and I've made it at 12 noon, then it will take 2 hours to happen. So it happens in lot. Whatever payments have happened during that time basically is kept and as the cutoff time is done, these payments now effect and a new cutoff time starts. So anyone who makes payment at 1 past 2, the next cutoff time may be 4 p.m. So their payment will go through at 4 p.m. So this is the basic difference between IMPS, RTGS and NEFT. Okay, let us look at with respect to maximum, minimum and maximum amount. NEFT allows starting from rupee 1 with no upper limit. Rupee 1 with no upper limit. And that is the reason why it happens in lot. Why? Because since there is no upper limit, you can literally transfer lakhs and lakhs of rupees. And it sort of gives you some time. If, by mistake it has happened, XYZ, these, that thing, if it has happened, then what you can do, you can, escalate that issue. That is one thing which can be done. But as you see that the minimum limit is rupee 1. So even small amount you can do through this. So you have been given an option to do it in lots, so that if any unforeseen thing happen, you can raise the issue. You have time for that. It is for that purpose. Now RTGS has minimum transfer value of 2 lakhs and no maximum limit. So here also no maximum limit is there, but minimum value is mentioned here. So other smaller or lesser amount you cannot do it. IMPS can be as low as 1 rupee and capped at 5 rupees. So you can use IMPS, which is very immediate. Now type and speed, it operates as a batch system. Transfer processed in batch, it takes time because it happens batch wise. It is one-on-one. Transferring to another bank account, it does not get stored. There is no cutoff time, right? So one-on-one, this is also one-on-one. So it ensures immediate fund transfer. This also allows instantaneous fund transfer because there is no slot system over here. If you look at service availability, 24/7, round the clock accessibility, availability based on individual bank hours, which may restrict users' access to the service during certain times of the day. It is restricted. See, anyhow, the amount is also above 2 lakhs. So the service is depending upon the timing which the individual bank has made it available. IMPS, on the other hand, is accessible 24/7. Okay. Now transaction speed, it is relatively slower. It is instant, immediate fund transfer, and of course RTG transaction is also faster than NEFT. This may take up to 2 hours. As I said, 2 hours of slots can be there, so it will take 2 hours. RTGS, no slot wise transaction, but it may also take some time. More than 2 lakh amount and all is there, but within 30 minutes it will be done as well. And when it comes to IMPS, this is instant, immediate. So if you talk about the speed, IMPS faster than RTGS, faster than NEFT. I hope that's absolutely clear. Now coming on to the difference between UPI 123 and UPI Lite. Very important, especially for prelims. I again repeat, UPI Lite for smartphone users with internet access. Now UPI 123 Pay is available for feature phone users without internet access. So imagine the importance of UPI 123. Even without a smartphone, if you just have the feature phone, still you can make the transaction. That is the significance. Remember, this point can be a direct question statement. Direct payment using stored funds on the device, IVR, missed call, app based and sound based payments, of course. See, what do we mean by this IVR and all? IVR is, you make a call, you will get a recorded voice, and then that voice will ask you to, if you want to make payment, click on 1. If you want to do this, click on 2. Then enter the account number, enter the amount. If for confirming, press 0, press hash. That is IVR. Okay. Voice recording system that is there. Now missed call also, if what you can do is either send a message or send a missed call, so that you can get a list of various services that are applicable, and based on that you keep pressing different things or keep sending different messages. Okay, so it is based on the IVR, missed call and sound based payments. On call also it can be done without the internet. Per transaction limit we just saw increased from 500 to 1000. Per transaction limit increased from 5000 to 10,000. Wallet limit increased from 2000 to 5000. No specific wallet limit. Why? Here there is no specific wallet limit. It is very important. Why? Because it uses linked bank account. So there is no wallet wherein you store money. It directly takes money from your bank account and directly transfers money to your bank account. There is no wallet system over here. It requires internet for initial setup and usage. Works without the internet or smartphone, using basic mobile phone functions. Very important point. So this is ideal for small everyday transaction, designed for wider digital financial inclusion among feature phone users. So this is for small transactions, agreed. This is for people who do not have smartphones. See, else what is happening, internet banking is there, so that financial inclusion becomes difficult because you are making it classist, as in people who cannot afford smartphone cannot do that. So this actually eradicates that problem of availability of smartphone. Just think for one example. Once I went to a restaurant wherein you have to scan the menu, the barcode through your smartphone and then order, and the order also is online through the phone only. Now when I first saw that, the first thought was, what if someone who does not have a smartphone? So are you excluding those people? That is sort of a social exclusion. That is sort of a classist thing that has happened. You are expecting no, only people with smartphones should come, so a particular class. No, someone may not be interested, maybe rich, may have money, may not be interested to use. That's point number one. Point number two, so many people who would not have the smartphone, but can collect money one fine day. They dream of going to a nice restaurant and having a meal, and they enter and they realize they need a smartphone to do that. So that sort of is an exclusion kind of a thing. You can give that example of exclusion anyway based on the classes. So this, what it does is it eliminates the requirement of smartphone and internet, increasing the digital financial inclusion. So that is about UPI 123, UPI Lite. We have also seen the different payment settlement system, that is NEFT, RTGS and IMPS. These things are very important for your prelims examination, and you can use these examples in mains answers also to talk about financial inclusion as well. Thank you so much.